Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show from Expats, Portugal.com. How are you this morning? Lots of lovely people already here. It's quite amazing. Andy the Doc Thompson, it's quite remarkable because I know for a fact he was up quite late last night drinking wine. I'm not being, gossipy or anything because I was there with him. I'm in no position to cast nasturtiums this morning, but there he is. He's up bright and early. First, knocking on the door this morning. So good morning to you with a bon dia alegria de la ria, to say it correctly. Yeah, amazing. Very, very good, Doc. I'm impressed with your incredible constitution there. Paul and Louise are here. Hank's here. Pam E is here. Jersey's here. Hank saying, gentle people, start your engines. And we're having a sort of gentle purr rather than too much revving this morning because Jenny's here. Jenny from Holy Healthy is here. And we'll be talking to her in just a moment because I've got a lovely introduction for Jenny. But Peggy's here as well. Bon dia, Hank from Peggy, Prosecco Peggy in the house. Caroline Bainton is here. That's a new name, I think, isn't it? Good morning from North Devon. Maybe seen you once or twice before. Eric Willingham, snowing in Berlin. I assume it's not snowing in the Algarve this morning. And neither is it in the central Portugal area where I am. The well-pruned vineyard is looking fabulous out of the window. So good morning to all of you. What is it that Paul Richards said? Greetings from Harrogate. Weather warmer, 9 degrees centigrade, but dull with cloud. Great show last night. Daniel did well. Daniel is amazing. He was talking about the non-habitual residence tax system. And also, Paul says, waiting for Jenny to make me feel super good. No pressure. Here she is. How are you doing?
Good morning. Here I am, ready to make you all feel super good.
It's quite a responsibility. I thought you might say, no. I'm here to facilitate yourself feeling super good. Is that right, Jenny? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right. But that's what lies behind. So let them in the belief for a second.
Superb. So how are you?
Really good. I'm super good. I can't complain. Sun is out. Got my first workshop off. The first thing is always the hardest. So thank you again, Carl. You built me up for it, huh? I got all the practice with you being online and everything.
Oh, I'm so glad that by the sound of it, it went well. And lots of people were able to take care of their inner children, learn about that, mental consciousness technology. And we have maybe a little bit more healing and transformation in the world, thanks to you and the people who took part in that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's beautiful to see how many people, or that the decision is there at some point to change something and maybe improve a little bit. And it doesn't always have to mean, like I said earlier, do like a 240-hour psychoanalysis to go back to whether your mom has been breastfeeding you accordingly or not. So, it was really nice. I enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, so glad. And I'm sure your attendance did as well. So a few more hellos before we get into what we're talking about this morning, which is using the garden and the natural world to strengthen our system. Who'd have thought it, that resource might be available to us? Paul Williams, hola bon dia from a happy and that's lovely, a happy and sunny Eastern Algarve. That would be a useful thing to have in the weather report, wouldn't it? Is where people are at in terms of happiness. Bon dia alegria from Portland, Oregon, from Jones. 227 there, and Shelley's here. Good morning to you, Shelley. Good morning all, she says to everybody. Lots of love to you, Shelley. Glad you're here this morning. Hello from Gary. Good morning to you, Gary. How are you this morning? Corey Dyspraxis is here as well. Good morning. Marcus Bush, and let's go for another interview. Yes, let's do that, Marcus. And Guten Tag from Hank.
Good morning, Hank.
Good morning, everyone from Gemini. You've got there are people here who aren't always here, but they come here for you on your bi-monthly residency now. So you draw a certain kind and special kind of person, I think. Susan Rachel, bon dia, Feliz dia do pai. Oh, a happy Father's Day today. On a Friday. I didn't know that. Okay, that's good to know. And we can fall foul of that. We can forget about it in the country of our origin and then not know what it is in the new country. Thank you, Susan, for that. Have you got the bleep machine? What does he mean? What does he mean?
I know what he means. Don't you know what he means?
I have no idea what he means. Bon dia. Is Hank a bot? He hasn't missed a single morning. He's a real life powerhouse of energy. He's extraordinary. And the thing about Hank is, it's like it's some kind of crazy o'clock for him as well. And still, he makes this superhuman effort to be here, to be an incredible part of this community. But I can see what you mean, Louise. You'd be forgiven for suggesting that. Welcome back, Jennifer from Gemini. Ian as well. Ian Turner's here. Bon dia from sunny Hertfordshire. Great show last night with Daniel. Made even better with the Vino Tinto. You see, but it's all about balance. Absolutely. Talking about tax regimes and having a glass of red wine. It seems to me to be the perfect balance. Lol, says Hank. Mrs. Hank might agree with you. So either he's got really sophisticated artificial intelligence and can come back with a one-liner like that, or he is indeed a real man. Brilliant workshop, Jenny. Helps so much, says Susan. There you go. From Joel, bon dia, up in Matosinhos. She'll be with us tonight on the Man Cave. It's going to be fantastic tonight on the Man Cave as we go into a very important discussion about how us fellas can support and nurture our sisters, mothers, and daughters better. And given that I don't know if gender politics is the right way of putting it, but basically it's how women are treated in the world we know is under the microscope, and quite rightly so. So we'll be talking about that tonight. Great workshop, Jen, from Gary Austin as well. These are all the people who are on your workshop. Following you here this morning and shouting out. That's great. I look forward to meeting every one of you in person before I'm through. So he's going to prove he's not a bot. Debbie Dews, good morning, Carl. And our resident Earth Angel, Jenny. Check it out. Ana Rita Vieira, bon dia from sunny Cascais, bon dia. Penny's here. You folks are real stalwarts. All these boozers up late last night, and they're here this morning. They're very impressive. I'm sorry if I'm giving away any secrets there. No, because it was all live on Facebook, so everyone knows anyway. Hola, Carl and Jenny. Beautiful sunny morning here. My inner child was unleashed out of the bottle last night. Well, that's a novel way of doing it. But maybe there is some sort of archetypal significance there. Jenny is going to be here. How can you resist that, says Hank. Good morning. Bon dia from Muhammad Wahab. It is Father's Day in Portugal today. So shout out to all of the dads, the pie. And I love the phrase when sons talk to their fathers, they say, "O pai." And it's just so lovely. Oh, it's like the dad, isn't it? Incredible. Bon dia. And I'm going to teach my children to refer to me as that here in Portugal. Oh, pai. And I'm not going to answer them until they do. Bon dia. Sunny and crisp. It's Father's Day, I can say that. Sunny and crisp in Finland. -6. It was warming up for Susan. Spring-like in a week, hopefully. Yeah, I hope for you too. Bon dia from Carolyn over in Russia. And Gary Austin. Think I might do a video of what I really love about woods. No smut. What does he mean? That's not a golfing reference. It's about what being out and about in the woods. And definitely, no, you don't have to warn me, Gary. No smut, please. Honestly. Yes, I'll play. If you want to share your love of wood video with me, I will share it right here, Gary. Or maybe it's a new YouTube channel. I don't know. Bon dia. Love Jenny Fridays. Okay, so there are 2 of them every month. This is one of them. There she is. What are we talking about today, Jenny, so that I can have a sip of tea?
Yeah, I thought, well, spring is coming and it's beautiful, and I think we're all enjoying it and can go out about in the garden. But what's the downsides of spring? Snotty nose, big eyes, all swollen up, tingly throat. So for all the people who suffer from allergies, it's not the best time of the year, even though you're really happy that the sun is out and everything, but your physical condition is not the best. So I would want to talk about some advices you can do despite medication, alternative things you can do to get ahead of your allergy and just control the extent of the symptoms, so it's nicer and easier for you to go through the day even without taking medication. Because what they do is they usually make you really tired, and that's not nice.
Okay. Yeah, and I see what you're saying, because that, yeah, on the one hand, yes, spring is here, but for a few people that is absolutely the case, isn't it? Some people quietly dread this time of year, don't they? With the hay fever, for example, and what happens for them. So yeah, well, a brilliant theme today. Sorry, and I interrupted you there.
No, all good. And then talking about gardening, because we all love to be out in the garden whenever we can, and particularly in times like now where we're not really exposed to many things which challenge our immune response to be upright, I'd like to talk briefly about how gardening actually can help your immune response to rise up, and so you're still ready for anything that would like to enter your body, and you say no, 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 no.
Well, that's very interesting that you should be talking about the immune system, because we haven't had a very balanced conversation, I don't think, in the last year or so, have we, about all the things we might be able to do for ourselves and each other, and how this remarkable immune system of ours works. So we're talking about it this morning while it's still legal to do so. Sorry, only joking, but you know what I mean. I mean, it is almost a taboo subject, isn't it? However you see it, the miraculous, God-given, life-given, nature-given immune system, that we have to say, give it some credit that it's got us this far, despite all the punishment and self-harm we do in the modern world. We have this amazing thing quietly working tirelessly on our side, which is barely mentioned in the mainstream narrative. Why is that, Jennifer?
Yeah. But it's beautiful. Thank you for this. You didn't even know what my next workshop would be about. But thanks for this introduction, because my next workshop next Saturday is going to be about understanding your body's language. So what is actually signs, and how could I understand it? For example, me, for example, I have this left shoulder that's killing me sometimes, but that is my stress indicator. So whenever I know, my shoulder, I can get massages as many as I want to, as long as I'm not getting the stress level down. It's not helping really. Or things like, I want to get people more sensitive about the early signs of their body before they're actually exploding. A bit like, with the core beliefs we had with the inner child. I want you to realize when you're in the inner child mood, when you're in your hurt shadow child mood, so you can actually know and catch yourself and can switch into your grown up. And it's a bit the same with your body. As soon as the earlier you get the signs, the easier you can react on it. Because honestly, like our body, like you said, it's not just our body with BODY, it's also our body, with BUDDY.
Very good.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and like you say, we take it all for granted. Every day it's working to its limit, even though we drink coffee, we drink wine, we smoke, we eat not the healthiest, we might eat even junk food and stuff like this, but our bodies, you say it, we're still here. I think we can both say we're pretty lucky and quite healthy. Like, it's not that in the mornings we have to pull ourselves together. Okay, where's my arm? Where's my head? Okay, I think I'm ready to get up.
Yes,
but all these, yeah,
it's true. It's so true, Jenny. And we could pause for a moment to consider how grateful we might be, and even be grateful for this, because you're absolutely right. We have to do very little about it. And not only do we take it for granted, actually, we don't treat it like a buddy. In many ways, it's like an enemy for some people, isn't it? And we've all been there, I think. It's like, why is my body not doing what it's meant to be doing, what I take for granted every day? And I had this thought in the last year about how many variables there are going on in the body at any given moment. And the remarkable, whether you're religious or spiritual or atheistic, agnostic, you can't not appreciate that there are millions, if not billions, of reactions taking place that are all managed somehow without you having to think about it. I mean, if you had to think about all these things, you'd never do anything else, and you'd be totally stressed out. But something is making this all possible. And instead of saying, like, wretched shoulder, why don't you work today? And you're like, I need to get through the day. It's like, wow. Of all the millions of things that could have possibly gone wrong with my body, the only thing that's actually happening is I've got I'm a little bit bald or something. And we're so ungrateful, aren't we, for this incredible miracle that we are? But anyway, that's my sermon finished for the moment. But it is worth taking a moment, is it not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even, what I really like, and we'll have this in the workshop as well, is really having a little prayer for your body to to express the appreciation, like you say, because it's not. And the unfortunate thing is, honestly, when you talk to your body, and I'm guessing this is for most of us like this, the only time you really address him is when it's not functioning, like you say. Why is
Yeah.
this bloody shoulder not working? And then you talk down to it, like, why you're not working the way I want you to, and blah, 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 blah. So like this. Hank, interesting comment. I'll get back to this in a second.
that's not going unnoticed, Hank.
No. So why do we actually not? And even if it's just once a day, whatever, in the morning or when you're in the shower anyway, so you have somehow a connection with your body, and you go actually like, thank you, man, thanks, another day. Thank you. And like you said, it could have been so bad. I could have gotten a heart attack, but all you gave me was my shoulder, even though I know I'm not there could be some things I could improve. Huh?
Exactly. And because I chopped 500 logs, that's why my shoulder hurts. It's like,
exactly.
Oh, come on. And that's what this is. So we like to give out a bit of homework. I do want to hear, I don't literally want to hear this, but I would love it if people were in the shower and out loud they were telling themselves how much they love themselves and their body. And I want to hear the stories. I don't need any recordings or anything like that, documentary proof, honestly. But I just want to hear, like, my partner or whatever, what on earth, who is in there with you? It's just me and my body, just having a little chat and a bit of a love fest this morning for that appreciation. And I think, it's much more, isn't it, than just a mental appreciation, because I think there's probably some well-being benefit that will emanate from that as well. What do you think?
Absolutely. If you embrace your body and you see it as, stereotypically speaking, as your temple, but looking after it like this, because at the end of the day, it's exactly what it is. It's the vehicle you got for this time and life you have here as a human experience. So you might as well make sure that you look after it, so you can have an ongoing great experience, because it's functioning and allowing you all to have all these brilliant experiences in your life. Because usually what we need is a crisis and a disease in order to start appreciating it. And what you said with the shower, that is really nice in other respects as well. Yeah, I saw Hank's comment. But Hank, think about this, and maybe it makes it easier for you if you think about me in that moment. But so
yes, okay, like a jump start, maybe. Yeah, whatever it takes. Okay, sorry. Yes.
The thing is, like you say, in the shower is perfect. But think about yourself. How do you wash yourself? You go like, really like, something that needs to be done really quickly, really rough. But instead, like, why are we not being more gentle?
Yes.
And praise your body in that moment as well. Oh my God, thank you, arm. You're still here. I can lift you just like that. You can carry pretty much everything I'm asking you for. I can have my hands. I move. I can touch things and grab things, and just these tiny things. And even if it's like, I don't know, the week has 7 days, I'm presuming you have at least 5 showers during that week. And so we have 5 senses, taking the thinking out. So every day you could approach a different sense that your body has. Wow. And then one day you go like, oh, I see, actually, wow, my body, I really like my eyes, or I really, focus on something that you like. And then if it comes to hearing, like, oh yeah, thank you, like all the voices I can hear, the chats I can have, the music, the birds, like all these beautiful things I'm actually able to listen to, and what it does with your body as well. It's not just the sound, it's the resonance that brings it in your body. We're 80% water. Any vibration, it's hopping onto your physics, actually. That's why I remember I've been on a festival with a friend of mine. It was German's biggest reggae festival, and we were standing in front of like 20,000 sinus watt speakers, and he was standing there. He was standing there like this. And I'm like, Daniel, and he's like, and I'm like, man, your body's 80% water. How can you not move? Like, There's so much vibration. You got to be able to move. What's that? Okay, a bit of spit.
Nothing. It's part of your 80% water coming out of you. Yeah,
just showing you I'm out of water as well.
Proving the point. Yeah, I mean, he must have been transfixed by the reggae vibes. I've been there. I understand that. Getting yourself in front of the bass bin, absolutely wonderful experience. Don't mix that with showering, though, probably, because you get yourself arrested. But I'm a bit worried now, because what I'm foreseeing is on Monday nobody will turn up because they are. I was going to say pleasuring themselves in the shower, but I mean taking some pleasure in having a body. So you are excused, and I will understand if on Monday morning people are really late or don't turn up, because they're having this revelation about how amazing and miraculous they are. So let's have a look, because I'm sure that will have stimulated a bit of conversation, and she won't forget this comment. The older I get, the less my body and I are on friendly terms.
Nope.
We're coming back to that. Bon dia alegria from a sunny but very windy Fundao. Putting the fun in Fundao over there, the bleachers. Second that. Yes, so Jersey agrees with that, so he's going to get it as well. Penny from Matron Baraku is going to see to you in just a moment. So many seem to have forgotten that we have an immune system that's been fighting off viruses since the beginning of mankind. What? Hold the front page. Surely that's not... Okay, my body gives me signs every day. I have to triage them for priority. Good old age. So, Paul, you're one of those guys, like you says, old age never comes alone. But we'll have. I don't think Jenny's going to let you off the hook either, Paul. Oh, damn, I'm in trouble. Yes, you so are, Hank. Hold on, hold that thought. This is why I love yoga, says Penny. When I'm on the mat, I can take time to fully appreciate my mind and my body. And Penny walks the talk with this. She's a remarkable woman, as you'll see from our wine club. She's not all worthy and all that sort of stereotypical spiritual stuff. She's a holistically brilliant woman, and she's a great example of what we're talking about when Jenny comes on. That could be awkward, Carl. Is this loving yourself in the shower, Hank? Give it a go, mate. Give it a go in the privacy of your own home. Don't do it at the gym. For heaven's sake, if you're at the gym with other people and you start doing that, you are going to get yourself in trouble. Unless it's, some cultures it might be all right. Because I know, we could talk about Germany when everyone's in the shower or everyone's everywhere naked, maybe appreciating themselves. I don't know. This is Brill. I was only thinking yesterday about how amazing our heart beats without having to do anything consciously about it. Om Shanti to you. Namaste. I see you, Jacqueline, with that wonderful thought. Ian Turner, much happier with my body when I have clothes on. We're gonna go into this, aren't we? We're gonna go into this with this sort of shame about the body. Maybe that's a bit extreme, but let's do what we can to redress that balance. I love my body, says Pete, even if there is too much of it. It helped me get the vaccine early. Okay, Jen, I always talk to myself, whether in my head or aloud. And I hope they're good things that you say. Smash, lol, knocked me off my treadmill. I don't know what that was especially, but yes, you're being invited into the headmistress's office presently. My normal address to my body is, oh, dear God, look at the state of that old Gary. Wash your mouth out with some holistic soap. The water in Portugal is so much better. Already noticed what a positive effect it has had on our bodies. That's great, Pete. Brilliant bit of feedback. Oh yeah, while we're about it, Jenny's here. She's sharing about her business and so on. But there's no reason why you shouldn't buy her a green unicorn smoothie, her favorite drink, by PayPaling her a little bit of cash to jbaraku at gmail.com. So come on, what we're used to is a very sort of capitalistic marketing system where health and stuff is very, very much an industry, and then there are the other complementary alternative practitioners who find it a bit more difficult to get a word in and to make themselves known. If you've heard something useful from Jenny, why not buy a green unicorn smoothie or two, and you can PayPal her a bit of cash there. jbaraku at gmail.com if you want to do that. Susan, there are more saunas than cars in Finland. Lovely healing. That's great. Really good. You're funny, Gary. Lol, love yourself. Yeah, Gary, love yourself, man. It helps that it hasn't been through 40 plus bodies first. That's the water rather than his body, I think is what he's talking about there. Yes, that's true. And the Thames allegedly has been through quite a few people, hasn't it, before it gets out your tap. In the morning, while I rebound, I say affirmations, thanking my body and sending it love. Isn't that wonderful? People are doing this, what we're talking about. Vara's here. Jenny, you're a star. Body Fest, here we come. We need to be so thankful for so much. There are so many people who are worse off physically, I'm sure, than each one of us watching today. So yes, so much to appreciate around us. Thanks, guys, for bringing us a great show each morning, learning so much. Vara, you're very welcome, and you're right. I am not the Messiah. I'm a very naughty boy. If it's the same as other things, the shower will be over quickly. Paul, I think I get you there, but don't lose hope.
We were not talking about a happy ending in the shower, guys. Huh?
Now that's why we love Jenny here and her directness, right? There's me skirting around these things. She's telling it like it is. Paul, you may or may not wish to comment. Bon dia alegria from Mike Campion, thinking, hold on a minute, what's going on here? Patricia Bartram, good morning, Colin and Jennifer. Believe me, when you reach your mid-80s, I can't help but laugh about the shower picture. So much energy. Oh, bless you, Patricia. Yes, I mean, I'm sure Jenny and I, we don't know what it's like to be 80, do we? Unless you've got past life recollections, Jenny. And this is something my dad said to me. Really good advice. He said, "I know what it's like to be young, but you don't know what it's like to be old." And you can't argue with that. But I mean, still, that wouldn't that be a lovely thing if we did hear of 80, 90, 100-year-olds being so comfortable and loving of their bodies? It would be a lovely thing for younger people to hear, I'm sure, who've got so much to be thankful for. It would come from that angle. Jenny, did you want to add something there?
Yeah, I mean, it's great, and we've already had a couple of comments there in the regard of, I'm 50 plus now. Now it's every morning a different ache and pain, and that kind of comes with age. You need to choke. And that kind of comes with age, and 80 plus. And of course, we both don't know how it is. But let me bring this out here. And I loved when I heard this. It's an elderly German lady. Her name is Greta Silver, and she wants to change the image that's out there about aging, and that age comes with your body is, getting less functional, and you just can't do certain things anymore. It's not appropriate to do bungee jumping when you're 74, all these things. But it's not. Like, when you want to do it, go bloody hell, fucking do it. You might not live tomorrow anymore, so just do it. Anyways, so the bleep machine, Gary said it.
That's what he was talking about. Okay.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about. Anyways, so generally speaking, from 30 to 60, it's also 30 years. So the same 30 years as from 60 to 90. And again, it's like so many things, it's about your mindset. So if you think and deep down believe that it's like this, when I turn 50, my body performance is going down. If you deep down in your head think this will happen. But if you change this belief in, as soon as I turn 50, my body performance is just going to go up, and I go fitter and fitter and fitter every day. Yeah. If you believe this, you will, and you can run a marathon when you're 80. If you have the right mindset, and then of course, it's not, you can't think that and then eat McDonald's all day, but it's not going to happen if you truly believe it. Then you set the cause for your body and your mind to act accordingly, because that's what you fed the unconsciousness with, which will be played off in the screen of your reality.
Yes.
So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I catch myself, because I'm in my 50s, and if I do get an ache and pain, or I can't do something as well as I used to, I catch myself having the immediate thought it's because of my age. And then I'm shocked that I've told myself that in an instant. and then I catch myself and I challenge it because I think it might be, but then again, it might not be. So like you have, and if I keep thinking that, it's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's no doubt about that. And we live in the other thing, of course, about it is we live in a culture, don't we, that supports that. So, I listen to a radio station that is aimed at people 55 plus. So all the adverts are constantly conditioning you about how to deal with your aches and pains and when you might want to install a stair lift and, your incontinence trousers and whatever. It's like, oh, come on. It's going to be so much better if we have adverts that are helping us stay youthful in mind. And I mean, the music does that, to be fair. And it's the same with YouTube advertising. And you've seen my screen pop-ups that come up. It's like, it's horrible how Google confirms that for you as well, doesn't it? It's like, oh, you might need to think about your funeral plan now because you've been selected out as someone in a particular demographic. So I think we need to, when we run the world, Jenny, we're going to have to reconditioning that advertising programming, right?
Definitely. We will do that. It's one top of the list. It's
on top of the list, and it's going to be an amazing scenario for everybody. So,
but you see,
go on.
You see, Carl, what you just said, it's as well with what you feed yourself. Why the hell you look this podcast with 55 plus people? I don't think there's much you can identify with. But what it does, it sets these seeds in your head thinking like, oh yeah, true. When do I actually have to put in this lift for the stairs? Or true. When do I actually need to get the pads in my pants if I'm start losing pee and all this? Like but this, you would not think about this. Keep on watching podcasts for 20 years old or watch the ones with your kids together because that's healthy seeds you plant in your head. Because what you do there, bringing it back to feeding your subconsciousness to whatever comes onto the screen in reality, is you feed your subconsciousness with picturing yourself already going with your wheel thingy, your walking aid, needing a new pet. Mrs. M is still making all the colloidals, feeding you with a straw in your colloidals. So don't stop before you're 80, Carl. You still got plenty of time for all the good stuff, huh?
Right. I'll watch Peppa Pig a bit more often.
Or when we rule the world, we change it. First of all, we make a new podcast like age in a healthy way, in a healthy approach. Age is the new puberty or something like that.
I think we might have to do a bit of work on that, to be fair.
I know.
No, I get your drift. And we've got all the cabinet ministers here, haven't we? I mean, we could put Gary in charge of outdoor exercise. That we have the cabinet, we have the manifesto and the cabinet shaping up nicely. This is fantastic work this morning. So good morning from Jim. Good morning from Wiesbaden to Carl and Jenny. You conjured up so many pictures that I'm very uncomfortable with. Funny how we tend to value senses once we've lost them. So that's so true, isn't it, Paul? I mean, definitely your teeth in your eyes and stuff. But again, it's true what Jenny's saying. We've got to catch ourselves and maybe reprogram these things. Bon dia, alegria. Johnny is here from Belgium. Carl, Jennifer, y a todos. After years of running through life, mother, partner, own business, older sick parents to take care of, I realized at a moment I suddenly became aware that I had a body and that the body also needs attention. Isn't that amazing? And that you could say that is very much, a woman's lot, isn't it? To put herself and her body second in the midst of all of this stuff in the culture we have, because so many things come down to so few people. We could do that in a different way as well. But that's a wonderful share, Jenny. There, I didn't realize I had a body really until I did a massage course, and it was such a revelation. Because we are brought up, aren't we, to think we're like a brain on a stick. Going and like you say, the vehicle. The body is the vehicle for the brain and the mind. And we're so ungrateful. Look, the first green unicorn smoothie is coming in. So I will pass that on. Thank you, Hank. That's very generous. Buy Jenny a beer for me. I haven't laughed that hard in months. Be careful. Don't put your back out laughing so hard. Hank, I love my temple, and I'm always taking it higher. Nice one, Sherry. I love it when people are watching and listening and they say things like that who wouldn't ordinarily speak. So thank you, Sherry, for adding that contribution. Really appreciate it. Katrina sees. Bon dia, alegria to you as well, Katrina. Jeff's here. He knows a thing or two about health and well-being. Bon dia from the Cotswolds. Still here. Great talk this morning from Jenny. We need to take time to appreciate ourselves however we look. Absolutely, Jeff. Well said. Carla's here as well. Bon dia, you guys are great. What do you feel about the difference between saying the body and my body? I think our language matters. Can you talk about that? Yes, so this abstraction, that's a great thing to address there, Jenny. What do you make of that?
Well, yeah, that depends on where you are from your perspective.
Yeah.
So if you are still attached to your body as the sense of you think this is you, your body is you, then you would probably talk about my body. Even though you're already a bit further in your thinking and you might be aware that you are not your body, you are just a soul that habitats this body for this life experience, then you might talk about the body because you're cut off this attachment to it. That's all I want to say in that regard. But before, guys, time is dribbling away again and we haven't matched what we've actually been talking about. Like, we kind of get used to it. I love this chat and there's so many things to talk about, and I was planning anyway to do the next one, which will be the 2nd of April, about self-love and how to improve all that.
Okay.
And tiny things we can do for it, and then bear all this in mind, we can go ahead with this. But nobody knows where the conversation today is going to bring us. I'd just like to get some things towards the topic of my chest so I feel better.
That's right. And you still got to tell Hank off as well. So don't forget that. So shall I go through the comments and catch up, and then we'll stop interrupting ourselves for a moment. So let me do these very quickly. Support and love Jenny. Champagne. Never mind your green unicorn smoothies. Mark Rigby, bon dia from Pavor de Vagim, slept in and waking up. He's showing himself a bit of self-love there. A friend of mine once told me, love those extra kilos. You might get sick one day and need them. Very good, Sherry. Katrina, she's popped in to the wine tasting club. Looked like you're all enjoying the chat. We were. Jenny, please don't get Carl started on showers. I had enough problems when I mentioned it. It's true. Ian Turner, good point, Jenny. Carpe diem. Yeah, worth remembering, isn't it? Seize the day, be here now. Well, I could cheer for others running by me. Yes. Cheerleading there, very important too. Self-talk has such a huge damn impact on what your potential reality is. It's crazy. People don't realize or appreciate it. Well said, Hank. Jose Manuel da Costa Diogo, hello, good morning, all looking good. Jennifer Baraku, nicely put. Call me a crazy Canadian, but I have it in mind that hugging a cork tree will be a beautiful healing experience when I get there. Sobreira, love, definitely. We are not our bodies. Thank you, Susan, for that. Jacqueline Grant, we are not our bodies. I think we get where you're coming from there. This is so true. I was just talking about 35-year-olds the other day who had designed a house with a lift shaft for when they get old. Oh, no. Bless them. Or hopefully it's for their relics, for their great-great-great-grandparents. When Linda and I get up in the morning, there's so much moaning and groaning that if we have the bedroom window open, the neighbours get a totally wrong idea about what's happening. Yeah, it's like the Portuguese neighbours, like a sex-mad English couple are at it again. Honestly, give it a rest. Not wearing shoes and letting the vibrations come into your body is a great thing too. Oh, Gary lol. Patricia Bartram, actually 2 years ago, celebrating my 82nd birthday with the family that I hadn't seen for 40 years. Wow. Also, I snorkeled over the Great Barrier Reef and really enjoyed Europe. You are fantastic, Patricia. That's what we want to hear. It's inspiring. Life post-menopause really is my second spring. Interesting. I can't address that. What would I know about that? Good morning, Carl and Jenny from the Philippines. Happy to see you again. You two guys rock on screen with amazing good rapport. Love you, Jenny. Oh, yeah, Helen. Hi, good morning. Happy Friday. Good weekend. Looking good. He's saying it again. Just here. Life starts when you wish it's your life. Enjoy it. Well said, Diogo. And Debbie Doos, yep, second spring. Jenny, set achievable goals. I thought I could fly, but I soon came down to a brain on a stick. Yes, that's what I thought for many years. God damn it, Carl, with the comments. Laugh so hard, just spat my Pepsi. What are you doing? He's drinking Pepsi. He's going to get an extra telling off for that. It's soda pops. You owe me a keyboard, sir. Sorry. Sorry about that. My grandfather used to celebrate every day he woke up for another day. Yes, possibly with a bit of Prosecco, maybe. So all yours, Jenny. I will not interrupt you, and we will not have anyone else interrupt you for at least 5 minutes now. All yours. Compose yourselves, everybody.
All good. No, I really like that last comment as well, with the wake up every day and be thankful. I indeed do the same. Like when I open my eyes, I go like, "Thank you for another day. I got another 24 hours." So, yeah, and this is. I remember. I think it was in the film Heal, where somebody said this as well because he just lost his wife. And then he was saying, you forget that when you wake up in the morning and you actually open your eyes and you're still there, you have everything you need. And that was beautiful.
Yes, yes. Robin Williams.
So, so just quickly coming back to what our bodies might suffer from at the moment in this beautiful springtime.
Yes, that's what we were going to talk about.
That's what we're going to talk about. But I really love to go into the self-love thingy. I was already thinking about it. There's so much beautiful stuff to do. So we talk all about bodies and what you can do with your bodies to appreciate it next time. But so coming back to allergies, you probably all seen, I don't know how it's at yours, Carl, or where everybody is. We have quite of a bright range here of localizations. But here at my place, you already have this yellow pollen carpet everywhere.
Yeah.
And for some people, that's just a curse. Like you can't go anywhere. It's just tickling and itching everywhere, and you're just sneezing because you suffer from that hay fever. And sometimes when you move countries, for example, and you never had any problems with hay fever, and all of a sudden you come to Portugal, you go like, maybe you haven't had as many pine trees around before where you have been living or whatever. So it can be something that you need to get used to. And if you feel only the slightest symptoms in terms of an itchy nose or swollen nose, runny eyes, tickly throat, you can get some local honey. Ask people around where there's the closest honey dude around the corner and get a glass of honey of him and take a teaspoon every morning. This builds up your immune system in order to have a healthy response to the past allergens, in order to implement them in your body so the body understands it's nothing harmful. I don't have to get an allergy reaction. I can actually handle it. So it's a bit like a vaccine in homeopathic doses. That's really good thing.
Yes, and thankfully the honey tradition is alive and well in Portugal. So you're talking about local honey. That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, if you buy an industrial one that's been made in wherever, China or something, don't do that. You've got to get the local guy, the local bees, and they're going to be helping you out here, right? Love the local bees. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's they have been working in the pollens of the plants that are around you, which seem to be the one that challenge you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the symptoms.
Yeah. I've heard on this same matter. I've heard of people eating soil where they end up. I mean, presumably you're not recommending that, and that seems like such a weird thing to us modern folk. But you can understand the same sort of inoculation process, can't you? Of people eating soil. No, people don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But there is something in it. Oh, they do.
Yeah, right. There's actually, now it's put in capsules. There's a guy, I can't remember his name, but he's quite big in that regard. He made a lot of research on it because of all these what is it? I think it's called IBS. So when you have a gut that's not quite right, working the best or not that reliable, and you kind of challenge with everything you eat, then he really recommends to eat a certain kind of soil. It's soil out of South America that has been dug down 40,000 years, been working on, and now it's the perfect soil. But again, it's down to the microorganisms that are in the soil, because your gut is basically 80% of your immune system. But what it needs is a certain balanced microbiome, means a great variety of microorganisms in order to keep that up. Because if you don't, oh, wow, we changed views now.
I think that works better. Sorry, go on.
Okay. So what we do is when we have a certain healthy microbiome, it's no problem because that keeps our immune response up as well. Another good tip for allergy as well, and make sure that even in that time, you might go with a bit healthier than usual. So try to cut down the sugars, well, the processed stuff, the sugars, the wheat, corn, all these starch-based things that just are so easy for your body to work through. But what happens is that kind of like it puts like an unhealthy layer in your guts, in your intestines on the inside. It clogs down the walls a bit, but the walls is what you need in order for the nutrients to be absorbed by your body.
Okay.
So if they are, what would be the word? I don't know. This is where I really challenge my English.
Clogged. Clogged.
Yeah, if they are like clogged, exactly, then nothing can really go through, and your immune system can't as well build itself as much up as I could, because this interaction is just not happening.
Okay, so I want to know more about how we can. I mean, obviously, don't add extra coating and don't clog it up more. But if you are already, as some of us might be, suspect are a bit clogged, how do we cleanse the gut to make it more receptive?
We shall do another show out of this, because that's a big one.
The colonic irrigation special.
Yeah, love that title.
All right, we're looking forward to that already.
Am I allowed to say a lot of shit then?
Yes, you could say it in context then. And I think if I know Hank well enough now, he's just destroyed another keyboard with the suggestion of the colonic irrigation special. Probiotics, is that part of this? Because Carolyn's saying that. Oh, sorry. No, you were going to talk it uninterrupted. Sorry, carry on. We'll come back to comments.
Oh, good. Yeah, okay. Let's come back to comments. But good point with the probiotics, because it's another big thing in the media.
Yeah.
Another really good tip, because a lot of people have the symptoms as well. When you wake up in the morning and you go like,
you know me so well.
Oh, I look the same, Carl. But what you can do is make sure you shower before you go to bed, because then all the pollens that are on your head, on your hair, on your body, you rinse them off instead of rolling around in them during the night and spread them all over in your bed and, go through it with your nose and your whole skin. So this drops down the allergic reaction a lot already.
Amazing.
Then what you can do as well, make sure that you open your windows, not the whole day. Don't leave them open all day. Give it a nice fresh air. Open the windows for about 10, 15 minutes, half an hour in the early morning, and then do that again just before you go to bed. But make sure that during the day the windows are closed so the whole stuff can't really fly into the house.
Interesting. Showering at night, what an interesting idea to get rid of the yes. Okay, that makes complete sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know, but nobody tells you that. It makes absolute sense.
That's right. I mean, I'm a bit worried about the windows at night with the mosquitoes coming in, but
no, don't leave them open at night.
Okay,
just a couple of minutes before you go to bed,
all right,
and then close it again. No.
Yeah. Okay, all right. And you can have screens, can't you? Which might help with particles as well as insects coming in and out.
Yeah, of course. Well, I don't think they help a lot with particles. The problem there is make sure, because what it does is that they're so fine, the particles, that sometimes, I'm not sure if the word is right again, but it clungs up, it blocks up as well, those little nets or net, whatever it is. So make sure every now and then you hoover it to get that out. Otherwise, the wind just blows it back inside.
Okay, jolly good. Okay.
And then another really important thing what you can do in order so the pollens and whatever you're allergic to in that regard of hay fever, we're not talking about food allergies or any other allergies, but pollen allergies, hay fever. What you can do as well, really helpful, is use either salt water with 1 teaspoon on half a liter, or you get some salt water nose spray. And use that for your nose, not just to rinse it out before you go to bed and rinse out all the pollens you already have in your nose, but also to keep the skin, the mucal skin in your nose, keep it moisturized, because then it has a protection then, because when it's dry, bacteria and pollens can come in quite easier as well. So next time you go into Continental, use a salt water nose spray before, and no COVID bacteria can enter in your nose.
Oh, I say, okay, extra COVID bonus there. All right, but we're not used.
Bing!
We're not used to nasal saline sprays and what are they called? The yogis do, they call it a neti, don't they? I mean, some people do the most bizarre things of like douching out their nasal passages or putting one rag up one nostril and pulling it out the other. I mean, we don't do any of that anymore, do we? We kind of wait for a problem and then deal with it. That's the kind of mindset that we're constantly addressing, you and I, in these slots. But so getting back into that idea then of really maintaining this membrane, and I mean, if you think about it again, that is our main, or one of our main points of contact with the world, isn't it? We're breathing the world in and out all day long. So obviously keeping that filter or receptor healthy and clean would be a great idea, but we don't really think about that.
No. And it's really so easy. I mean, you can buy saltwater spray if you want, but to give it a proper rinse, it's the easiest really if you just create the solution, like I said, 1 teaspoon on about 500 milliliters of water. It needs to be around 0.9% for it, so you don't create an osmotic effect and you draw out all the water out of your cells into your nose or the other way around, which then would have a contrary effect. But you can, like my dad did it. He always had a bowl, like a bottle with half a liter next to the sink in the bathroom, and then it was awful. It's nothing you want to do with your partner in the bathroom, but he just put it in his hand. Where's my hand? So he just put a bit of the salty water in his hand, and then he went like,
really.
And then it burns. It's a bit like brain frost. And then you go like, ooh, and then you can snot it all out. But it helps not just to clean as well, like I said, to moisturize and therefore prevent any harmful bacteria, if it's pollen, if it's bacteria, viruses, if it's air pollution, whatever. Make sure it's nice and moisturized, so it's not that easy for all those toxins or stimuli you don't want to get in there and through this go into your system, man. So don't forget that. It's not just that we breathe it into our lungs, but also through the skin in your nose, a lot of things go into your blood system.
Indeed. Yes, as some nefarious activities prove. Indeed, yes. Okay, yeah, wow. This is a revelation this morning. Okay, so have you more springtime tips?
Yeah, just a little funny one as well. What you just said with because you called it the filter system, and that's what it is, huh?
Yes.
But I remember, and yesterday I thought about it. I thought I need to mention this. So I remember in the pharmacy, the allergy season, there was a person coming up to me and said, "Hi, I'd like to have filter your life," and I'm like, "What? What? Filter your life?" And I'm like, interesting. So what's filter your life? And then you can Google it, guys. It is a little filter you put in your nose to prevent the pollens to come into your nose when you're suffering from allergy. And it's called Filter Your Life. So guys, filter your life, but don't use that bloody thing. Just use some nose spray.
It's the ultimate rationalized healthcare, isn't it? And I can see other people in, the emergency room. So what happened here? Well, I've got my filter for life. It's like stuck up my nose now. And I need some, it's filtering my life a little bit too much right now. So can you help get it out? Oh dear. What are people like, honestly?
Yeah, that's really funny. So just to finish this off, you can also apply this to your overall skin. I mean, it's the biggest organ. And like you say, it's as well how we get in contact with the world. And it counts the same for your skin. So if your skin is dry, then even pollens can create a reaction through going through your skin or just have this contact with your skin. So make sure you use a proper good body lotion. I'm not talking about that chemical stuff. Use like coconut oil, for example. We'll do almond oil, aloe vera gel, things like that. But make sure you have your skin is moisturized sufficiently, so you also have like a protection shield for your whole body in order not to start with create an allergic reaction, because it can't really enter your body.
Wonderful. And that's another opportunity to love yourself and your body, isn't it? if you're consciously applying lotion and being there in that moment, that's gonna be great as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Wonderful. Wow. Okay, wasn't expecting that. And nor was I expecting a hello from Nepal, but good morning to you from Nepal. How amazing. Okay, a few comments, as you would imagine, Jenny, this morning. And I think people have been very good. They let you speak without bombarding you. But I think the comments are coming in again now. So you wanted to talk about probiotics. You want to mention that because this is another one of those very well marketed things. There's probably some very good truth at the bottom of it, but these marketers do take advantage of these ideas, don't they? The friendly bacteria, in the germ warfare of life, they're the good guys and the bad guys. What do you say about it?
But there are, so just to get a basis here, to understand the mechanism of bacteria, it is indeed like this. There are the good guys, there are the bad guys, and then there's opportunists. So whatever is more dominant, the opportunists hop onto that board. Now, what does it mean, positive and negative, when we're speaking about microorganisms? That means positive microorganisms, they go into regeneration. Negative microorganisms, they cause degeneration. So it's about life and death, basically. Mm-hmm. So what you do, or what's the healthy thing to do, and that's why it's called probiotics, it's that they try to give you more positive bacteria in order so your opportunists will hop on board and your overall milieu is basically positive. What happens then if there's a certain dominance there, even though something negative comes in, a negative bacteria, you are so well built up that this tiny bit of bad bacteria compared to all these good ones doesn't really have a chance, and it will just get worked on, processed, and it won't be able to actually fulfill its mission to degenerate. So it will stay in regeneration. Now, with all these probiotics there are on the market, be really careful, because the thing is, understanding this principle I've just explained, when you bring on like an Actimel or Yakult or all these great probiotic drinks you can buy in the shelf in the supermarket, what happens is there mainly it's about one microbe in it, and that's a lactobacillus. Maybe there's different kind of lactobacillus in it, but it's still just basically one type of microorganism, which does not mean that through this one type your whole system turns into regeneration, because it's only one type. But what you need is the variety of it. Yeah. So again, when you have just one good bacteria, the whole milieu jumps on that, and you go, oh yeah, let's all be like the bacilluses. But there's no use for you neither in your gut improvement, neither in your health response, nothing. It might even go the other way around. So always make sure it's a variety of different microorganisms out of different families. I could, if the request is there, let me guys know. I could do another show, a full show just about microorganisms, where they are, what they are, how we can improve that, how you can use it for your body, how you can use it for your garden, how you can use it for your household. No problems. If you guys want to know about it, I can do it.
I would love to hear that. And maybe I was going to ask you, I mean, you called it life and death. So probiotic is for life, antibiotic. We would talk about antibiotics presumably in a special episode, but do you want to say, as a former pharmacist, what do you have to say about antibiotics?
Well, you've just summed it up together so nicely, because exactly what it is. Antibiotic does kill everything that's alive, every living microorganism. They can't differentiate between, oh no, that's a good guy, let's leave him. No, they're not. They just kill everything that comes along their way. And that's the problem with antibiotics. So you might be sick. and your natural immune response for some reason did not manage to get it out of your system, let's say within the first 3 days, because that's then when you usually go to the doctor or to a pharmacy because you're just sick of it. It takes too long.
Yes.
What you don't know is that you're already actually on the tip of the mountain, and it will become better anyway naturally the next day because you're on day 3. But what you do doesn't really matter. You go and you say like, oh, and you go to the doctor and he goes, I don't know what the fuck to do. So all I can do is basically I can prescribe you an antibiotics, because for everything else he needs to say, yeah, there's a little note. You can go to the pharmacy and buy it all yourself. And what happens there a lot of the time, doctors are under a lot of pressure. The patient leaves and says, what a bloody doctor. He didn't even prescribe me anything. I just leave here with no hair, empty hands. Huh? That's how he leaves me. What a great doctor. So they are in sort of like a pressure as well, because the patient, when he goes to the doctor, he has expectations for the doctor to make him healthy again. So even if it would be honestly just a piece of paper where it says, praise your body, you go like, yeah, man, I got something. I got something. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a lot of psychology there as well. But anyway, so you get the prescription for the antibiotics, then you go to the pharmacy and you take the antibiotics. So what happens is even that little bit of immune response that was there, but that was not sufficient enough for you to overcome the whatever symptoms you had in that moment, even that is gone. Plus, your whole gut, so the microbiome we were just talking about that you actually have in your gut in order to keep the immune response upright, this is all killed, all down to zero. Now, what happens when it is down to zero? The negative ones also have an easy game. So let's say you had an antibiotic and you got all the nice side effects of it, diarrhea, cramps, and the whole fun. And then you're through with your treatment after, let's say, 5, 7, 10 days, whatever, and you don't have, in that case, a good probiotic mixture to rebuild your microbiome, then let's say you have a nice wine night and you drink all the wines and the alcohol and the sugar and all that, that's like coming into your guts going like, happy days, look at that, it's just us, so we can do whatever we want.
Party time.
And then it takes a long time, because we have this, I mean, we're all not saints and we all kind of live in this society and we try our best, but still we're no saints. So we might have, days where it's not like the most healthiest food or whatever. So what I mean is, in our lifestyle, it's so much harder to build this back up naturally than it is to destroy it. And you can destroy it with a single tablet of an antibiotic. Easy as that. That's why, on the long run, if you think about it, what it does with you, because most of the people think it kills only the negative bacteria, only the ones that make you sick, in fact. Everyone else is allowed to stay. But that's exactly not the case. So be aware of that.
It's amazing what's happened with it. I think people are beginning to understand this antibiotic thing now. Wow. Okay. A few more comments. Mike Campion, and it comes back, doesn't it, to having a better relationship with your body and listening, and the temple idea. Anyway, honey and apple cider vinegar every day helps me. This is a real mainstay for lots of people, and I think it's a great idea personally. Rarely get colds and flu. Still work out even in my mid-50s. Well done, Mike. An old pilot buddy of mine always said, get out of your 50s and 60s as fit as possible, and the later years will look after themselves. What lovely advice. Sounds like a really amazing buddy you had there. The old Honeygger is a really great start to the day. Homeopathic medicines are great for hay fever too. I would also say tissue salts. So I've had some great results with tissue salts, which are a bit unknown, but quite fantastic as well.
Perfect.
Related to homeopathy, aren't they? Carolyn, Acvamaris is popular here. A saltwater spray for your nose reduces allergy problems and protects against colds, theoretically. So the salt spray in Russia, as you might expect, some cultures have held on to these things rather than been washed away by the straight up pharmaceutical power. Hola bon dia from Douglas Hughes, who goes on to say, Ew, I came in at the wrong moment, I think. Shelley says, please only use boiled water with a salt when flushing your hooter. So I think, yeah, good advice there. You want to be careful about what you put in your body, obviously, and up your nose, wherever. I shan't be looking, thank you for that, Shelley. I shan't be looking forward to spring now, all this conch flushing. It's not mandatory. Douglas, not yet anyway, not until we rule the world. Cold showers in the morning and before going to bed also boost your immune system. Might really wake you up though, right? Having a cold shower late at night. But anyway, more and more people are doing that, I think, and it does make some sense. Thank you, Jenny. Sounds like a good reason to continue wearing your mask. What? Go on then, because I was thinking that whilst you were talking, I was thinking, okay, this is the cure for hay fever and everything else at the moment. What?
Yeah, I like it. I like to go if you go half pirate, huh? That's.
I don't want to cause trouble, but like, come on, why would it not be a good reason to keep wearing your mask?
Well, if you want to prevent hay fever, okay, but the wearing mask really drops your immune system reaction, because think about it. We all need whatever flies around in the world and in the air, what we breathe in order to keep the immune response upright. But when you wear a mask, what you do is you breathe in your air all the time. That's like having the same program on the telly, just imagine you had to watch us all week. It kind of get boring after a while, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's nice, on every second Friday, us together, we're a cool team. But just imagine that every day. We would probably get bored with each other, Carl. Don't get me wrong.
It's true. No. Yeah.
So what it does, your immune system is like, boring, no stimuli, I don't have to do anything, it's just my own shit all the time. And what it also does is, so you breathe in only your bacteria all the time. And don't forget, I don't know what your mask, out of which material it is, but it looked like a pretty normal mask.
Yes, it's been in my pocket and everything. Yes.
Yeah. And when you unwrap it the first time, have a little smell in it, and then think about it if you really want to carry this in front of your nose all the time. And the problem is you vaporize, and like you put in the moisture from your breath, and that heat and moisture, that's what bacteria love, huh? Heat and moisture.
Perfect storm.
Perfect. So I don't know. I'm really with that whole mask thingy, but people who know me might have already noticed that in some regards I'm a bit radical.
Yes, indeed. Okay,
but I have my background and my arguments for myself. Do whatever you want. Everybody's old and grown and big enough. I understand whatever you want to do, but just make sure that you do it because you have thought about it yourself and came to the reasonable decision that for you think it's the best thing you want to do in order to protect yourself, or when it helps you or you feel better or whatever. Make sure it came from yourself, this decision, and that not anybody else made this decision for you and you just hop on it because everybody's doing it.
That is a really good point, because I've been wanting to say, there's nobody should be watching this or any other health related program and saying, oh, they told me to do this. That is really not what this is about. Jenny comes here to offer an alternative, complementary, and in my view, brilliant and hilarious view of how we might look at health and well-being, all of those things together. But this should not be taken as advice or you being told what to do. And that's part of the problem we have, I guess, in the world, isn't it? Is that a lot of people have given their health up in that way. It's just tell me what to do, doc, or tell me what to do, government. And, to some extent, you want to trust professionals and you want to trust the people who you imagine to have your best interests at heart. But you've also got a part to play in that. And that's the balance we're talking about here is figuring that out for yourself. So you don't be going into the pharmacy and saying, that woman told me to put salt up my nose. Can I have some salt, please? Figure it out, own it. This is about owning this stuff, isn't it? Feel it, experience it.
And trial and error, huh? You can try it, but don't forget, like children, you haven't been learning to walk by the first attempt.
Yeah.
So don't give up when you do it once and you're going, oh, I can't do this. No, I can't do it.
That was a bit inner child. It's work in progress, everybody. Okay, and that's why we continue to have the conversation. Let us know how it's going. I've just given myself CPR. He told his body how good his body was, but it wasn't responding. You old cynic, Paul. Honestly, Beverly is here. Thank you, Jennifer, for the simple ideas and pushing the healing power of self-love. Saman as well. A namaste from Saman, I think. And thank you, Beverly, for that comment. Jacqueline, I would love to hear more about probiotics and gut health. Enjoyed this show. Thank you. Yeah, because I think we are sort of drawing to a close here, but and we've spawned like microbial activity. We spawned a number of other themes, haven't we? Including the microbes and gut health and that sort of thing as a special, as well as self-love. Fantastic. Fermented foods as probiotic. What a lovely approach that is. Yeah, Mrs. M's fantastic on that stuff. And it's, again, old folk wisdom, isn't it? You know, that's been lost and challenged by the big industries again. You know, we're marketed to, aren't we, what we should and shouldn't eat, and some of these things are casualties of that, including the home canning and fermentation and so on. Hank, and in America, the doctors make extra money from big pharma when they prescribe something for you. This is a problem, Hank. We're realizing this now. Ian, I have been appropriately told. About the mask thing. I hope you're good with that, Ian. I get aggressive questioning from friends and family demanding to know why I have declined the vaccine. This is where we're at, isn't it? This is people, there is a huge emotional overlay or undertone to this, and there was a certain inevitability about that, Penny. I'm sorry to hear that. I think it's really important that people are able to, as you say, Jenny, make your own informed decisions about things. And I can only see that causing, that's divisive and polarizing, isn't it? When people aren't allowed to decide for themselves what goes into their bodies. I feel the need to say there, Penny. The poll's saying in the mask, my husband is a teacher. He has to wear the mask the whole day and he gets pustules like an adolescent. That's sad to hear there, Jenny. I can't see the use of colloidal silver, a heavy metal, help with the body, and it does not build up like lead, mercury, cadmium, and possibly cause problems because it doesn't get broken down by your body and accumulates. So yeah, I'm a colloidal silver fan, but is that theory? Does that what do you make of that theory of buildup of silver?
Yeah, that's I agree to a certain part. It's, again, I think Paracelsus said it: the doses makes the poison. The dose makes the poison. So colloidal silver is already broken down to shape where it is bioavailable for your body. So it's a bit in a homeopathic dose, isn't it? Like breaking it down, literally speaking. So it is in a good availability for your body, and it's nothing against doing like a treatment course of, let's say, 4 weeks or up to 6 months, which stage you're in, whatever you're using it for, all very individual. But generally speaking, it is a metal. Yes, it is. But it doesn't mean that your body is not generally able to work out metal out of your system. We're not talking about mercury. That's different stuff. Don't eat old thermometers.
That was why the Mad Hatter was mad, wasn't it? Because of the mercury inhalation, apparently. Yeah.
And another thing you just said there that was really important, I thought, when you said, you go to a doctor and you ask, or you go to a pharmacy and you tell them what you want, or you ask there. Our bodies do talk to us, and sometimes we don't like what they're saying, but the signs we're getting, we call them symptoms. But when your body is giving you a sign such as a symptom, there is a certain imbalance, and before you actually get the symptom, this imbalance has been there quite a long time, potentially, until your body says then and becomes louder and louder and louder. And he tries to get in contact. He tries to make you aware of, okay, something's going on there. And sorry to disappoint you there, but hardly ever, he means in that moment, go to the pharmacy and take a pill.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You speak as somebody from, from the industry, don't you? You're not just sort of heckling from chucking stones in from the outside. You've been on both sides of this, haven't you? And I don't like to characterize it as both sides anyway. That's not helpful. But yeah,
No,
again,
but I know what you mean.
yeah, you make some good points. As usual, Jenny. Hank, great show today. I regret, but I have one thumbs up to give. I think that's a good thing, expressed as sounding like quite a negative thing there, Hank. But yes, you haven't had your telling off yet. That might slip by without occurring. No, we're getting a Peggy smackdown here. No, that is wrong. A doctor in America does not make any more money if he prescribes a medicine or not. And he does not make more for prescribing one over the other. Well, I'm pleased to hear that. It goes against my stereotypical understanding, I have to say. And they don't even get pens and notepads anymore. That's a funny thing, isn't it? Because I think what you're suggesting there, Peggy, is possibly that used to happen. Maybe it happens in a different way now. But I still, to this day, I had a massage client who worked for a pharmaceutical company. At the end of our session, she would say, come to my car and come and get some pens or a nice folder or something. And I ended up, it was a weird sort of, subterfuge of being a complimentary therapist, but getting all this free stuff from Big Pharma. And this job that she had to do, which gave her a really bad back. But anyway, there was a kind of poetry about that. Interesting, Peggy. That's a big conversation, probably not for right now, but I'm not avoiding it. We should have that conversation for sure. The vested interests and the marketing and all that sort of stuff, which is, I think, crushed a lot of folk wisdom, natural wisdom, other practitioners who don't get a look in, basically. Useful info, guys, from Antonia. Unfortunately, says Donna. Hi, Donna. Governments are interfering with our health. I don't want to take the vaccine, but I feel I'll be forced to if I want to fly in the future. Maria Santos, bon dia. Jeff chipping in, your body, your choice. It's got to be, isn't it? Peggy Luttrell, we must think of others right now while we're trying to get rid of this COVID. Look at what the doctors and nurses are wearing. I don't think Jenny was saying never wear a mask. It's got to be right place, right time, hasn't it, for everything? And they wear it 12 to 14, up to 20 hours a day. God bless them and best wishes to all of them, because I think, they are up against it, aren't they? They work in the most hideous of circumstances, including wearing a mask. So we need to make sure we look after these people. Johnny, I feel the same about this. Getting rid of COVID is no party, people. Everyone must do their part or it's fruitless. Like life itself, Peggy. It's true, isn't it? That you could apply that to everything, really. Peggy, you're right. Of course, it's not legal, but they still try to do it. Just in July, Novartis had to pay a multi-million-dollar settlement for bribing doctors. I'm with you, Peggy, says Carolyn there. I think that's all about us all playing our part together. And it's funny, isn't it? Because I think, in a way, it depends on what your context is and what your beliefs are. But still, everybody believes, I think, that we are better together and that we can do things better if we work together. It's just the devil is in the detail, isn't it? Peggy, you talk so much sense. What an ordeal. And to be offered a 1% pay rise in the UK is just disgusting. Absolutely right there, Pete. I think a lot of people would agree with you there. Years and years ago, they did that, but no more. Well, I'm glad to hear that the pharmaceutical industry has cleaned up its act in the US there with that. Because really, you would hope, wouldn't you, that it wouldn't be down to following the money. Colloidal silver totally removed 2 burn scars and minimized surgery scars. Great believer in colloidal silver. A fellow fan there, Susan. Peggy, agree with you. Again, COVID-19, got my second shot yesterday. Yep, I'm pro-vaccine, says Hank. I'm also pro-bodily autonomy. If you don't get to decide what goes into and comes out of your body, you're not a free person. Well said. We are being emotionally manipulated. And simply, ivermectin, says Kerry Austin. And that, in a way, I think, symbolizes what's going on here, doesn't it? The lack of holistic consideration here.
But can I say something?
Of course you can. I've said too much. Go on.
No, it's all good. For me, it's just interesting to witness. Everybody's opinion has its value, and I don't want to give anybody my opinion. I'm just sharing it for myself, and you can make out of whatever you want. But it's interesting for me, particularly as a psychologist and as a human being, which is also exposed to all that, how emotional the reactions are getting.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely changed in tone, hasn't it? Our conversation here, and
yeah. Guys, don't take it personal, huh? It's your decision. I'm
Yeah.
not saying everybody to do whatever, but make sure when you make a decision, it's not fear-based and it's not emotion-based. When you take a decision, when your soul, your higher self, your overconsciousness, whatever, when that is speaking, your inner voice is talking very neutral, very clear, no fear, no emotion, just like that, bam. So make sure it's not the ooh that actually gives you into any decision, whichever,
Well,
COVID
that
related, relation related, whatever, life related.
yeah, you make
Really
a really
important.
good point there, Jenna, because we might not know, mightn't we, that we're living in fear unless we take a look at it. And I think it's to me, again, it's my opinion. Please don't take this personally, but that is something worth looking at in life, isn't it? And that's something this year has taught us. Is where are we coming from in life? Are we living it in fear of other people? The whole thing about migration and how that's positioned. That's all about fear of other people, isn't it? Politics, fear of terrible things happening. Vote for these people so that won't happen. And there's a lot of that about, isn't there? And it's really been exacerbated in the last year. So it's worth doing that check, isn't it? It's like, where did that thought come from? Is that am I living in fear and terror? Which again, has been a growing consciousness in the last 20 and 30 years, hasn't it? Of living in terror. The whole terrorism conversation. Where are we at? Where are we coming from? How are we relating to the world? So, I just sort of leaving that there. It's definitely a question worth asking. Where are we coming from? Exactly. Make an informed choice. Get the facts from all sides and go with your gut reaction. There you go. Back to the body. Very good. And no fear. Amen, sister. To you for your sum up there. I feel the same. As Donna Morgado, I don't know what to do about the vaccine for travel to our new home in Portugal, says Johnny. They say a negative test is okay, but for how long? I hope it stays that way. I hope it is about testing and not enforced vaccination. Personally, some things are okay to do or not to do, but with all that we have been through, we have to all be responsible about this, says Peggy. And the virus, sooner or later, will find a way around the vaccine. What then? Well, there he is, the prophet of doom at the end there, just as we're concluding the show. I mean, yeah, seriously, Gary, some of the wisest brains seem to me to be saying, we have to learn to live with it. And how do we do that? And I mean, what do you think, Jenny? Some people are talking in terms of eradicating this. That's not a real thing, is it?
It's for me it's getting a bit funny in the terms of what's going out there, the discussions about the vaccination, and now we have the vaccination plans, and then everything will be open and all right again now. Oh, okay, some of the vaccinations we can't really use because we already had issues with that. Oh, the numbers are going back up again. Oh, we can't actually vaccinate everybody the way we wanted to, so what are we going to do now? Oh, and whilst we're doing all this, there's new virus mutants already out there where we need new vaccinations for. Don't get me wrong, but from my point of view, everything's quite ridiculous. And like you say, it's to try to control something you just simply can't control. That's like digging out a trench to create a riverbed. But yeah, you can try to force it in its shape, but it's still going to make its own way. It's nature. And have we not still learned that we would be so much better off in order to work with nature instead of putting ourselves from the stupid idea that our brain thinks it is the most developed brain in the whole evolution, which is actually the opinion of the brain about itself.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, so think about this. Of course, you can pretend you are on top of the hierarchy in the evolutionary part, but I don't know how far you will actually get there. And did history not show us already that it's not like the most intelligent approach to think we could do it better than nature?
Yeah.
Or we could disconnect us from it and do it better, or just ignore what we're doing to the planet as well? Guys, if we don't have any trees, there's no air to breathe. And that is, surprise, surprise, we go to Mars, we go to Moon. Oh, you can't live there because there's no oxygen. Yeah, why? Because there's no fucking bloody plant. So where shall the oxygen come from?
Yes.
But it's like, yeah, go and search wherever. That's the same with traveling, and I've been a traveler. So
Yes.
you go and search for things in the world, but you're never going to find them as long as you did not understood at some point that it's already within you. And also within you is the trust and the capability to deal with whatever comes at you in life. If it's a virus in that form, if it's job loss, if it's whatever, I'm sure you can do it.
And I think that's where we're at. I mean, to me, this is really exciting because we are being presented with this kind of option or choice, or this sense of our own intelligence here. I mean, I think that's exactly what's going on. It looks like a kind of turning into a polarized debate, but where we're at is in a conversation about this. And in the first part of our conversation this morning, we were talking about it in a very joyous way of how we relate to ourselves. And then it's interesting with the COVID talk, the kind of fear thing comes in, and it's a test from a different angle of what's on the table, what's exciting for humanity at the moment, I think. And I think, with some more comments. It's great how capitalism is chipping in here, because check out ba.com for a list of suppliers for home PCR test kits. Many airlines realize not all will get vaccinated. So they're having to respond in a different way, which is fascinating. So hopefully it will be, testing or not testing, which is as far as it will go with travel passports. I would always listen to people like Peggy, a former nurse, and friends who are nurses and doctors, than my own uninformed. Yeah, that sounds like a good choice there. If you're owning up to being uninformed there, Pete, I can see that. I'm with you, Peggy, 100%, but nothing but love for everyone here. And that's what I love about us all here. Different opinions, respectful conversation, fantastic. History tells us that smallpox and polio were massive killers. And I believe smallpox is the only virus to have been eradicated, but I don't even know if that's true. So this eradication theory is a little bit questionable. For black hearts, I think that's a good thing. I'm going to love my trees, says Gary, going to nature for the answers there. Hearts for love for everyone, not for smallpox and polio. Well said. And this news just in, I think there is the new variant that has come out, if I can share this with you, that somebody shared with me. I mean, that's terrifying, isn't it? Look at this new coronavirus variant that is now circulating. What do we do? What are we going to do about that, Jenny?
Oh, that looks like, I don't know. I think you have to tickle it away. I think that's the best thing you can do.
Love it. Okay. Typically, the answer is love there. I feel like we need a little bit of a moment, to kind of center.
Take a deep breath.
Do you want to do that? Would you like to lead us, Jenny, in a kind of breathe out?
Yeah, of course we can do that.
Come on, Jenny. Take us through that as a conclusion then.
Okay, we've been already saying something. I'm gonna pull in terms of body and appreciation. So you're welcome to close your eyes, guys. Yes, of course. Take a deep breath into your nose and out through the mouth. Put your hands onto your lap, your palms facing to the sky or to the ceiling. Take another deep breath in to your nose and out through the mouth. And now I'd like you to put your left hand onto your chest, right there where your heart is, and your right hand down to your belly, about the height where your navel is. And then on the next inhale, make sure you expand your belly to the fullest. Get as much air in your belly as you can, in your whole body. Hold it there for a second. And then breathe out. Do that once more. Hold it for a second. And then breathe out. And now, regardless of whether you're breathing into the chest or into the belly, just give yourself a moment. Let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. And feel in here. Feel that you're breathing and how you're breathing. And notice how your breath comes and goes, how air enters your body and leaves it again without you having to do anything for it. Now feel your heartbeat as well. Feel your heartbeat there under your left hand. Your heartbeat is the first sound you have heard. Your heart is the first organ that you have developed, and the beat of it is the rhythm of your life. Appreciate this. Send a little love over there. And now imagine how you have this wonderful, bright, yellow, warm light appearing there within your heart. You can feel it in your hand as well. You can feel the warmth. And imagine now this bright yellow light getting bigger and bigger within your heart. Like a sunshine in your heart. And now feel it spreading from there. Imagine
Woo!
how it flows through your body. And give thanks again for that life is floating through you with every beat of your heart. And just imagine you could as well add this little sunshine to the beats. So with every beat of your heart, there's a bit more sunshine going through your body and going through your cells. And every time you see the sun, you remember this sunshine that's spreading from your heart through within you, and it reminds you on your heart, your body, and its beautiful jobs it does every day to give you this very best life experience. Take another deep breath into the nose, out through the mouth. Say thank you. Thank you to your body. Thanks to yourself that you gave yourself this moment. Thanks for the life you're living. Thank you.
Obrigado. Oh,
Jacqueline, next time.
Little meditation. Would like to get back to loving everyone up close, Peggy. Oh, I can't wait to give you a hug, Peggy. Tired of virtual hugs, ready for the real kind, says Hank. That was beautiful. Thank you, Jenny. Going back to lockdown. Oh, no, okay, we're not going to bring that in right now. Sorry, because the comments are sort of a bit mismatched with our pace right now. My wake-up mantra, thank you, God, for this day. Thank you, God, in every way. That's beautiful, Susan. That's not what you want to see in the shower. That's my variant. A great show today, guys. Told you she was good. Absolutely right. Thank you, Gary. I feel compelled to say namaste for some reason. Hands on your lap, Carl. All right. Beautiful, says Jeff. Imagine, much needed this morning. Oh, bless you. Thank you, everybody. We had no idea where that was going to go this morning, and it was a sense, a little bit of a good morning Portugal loving, with so much gratitude. And thanks to you all, and especially you, Jenny, this morning. Thank you very much. We'll see you again.
Carl, I need to finish with a tiny sentence because I have been speaking about the gardening and the immune system.
Go on then.
So just quickly, for people who know grounding, they already know the effect, but it's the same when you work with your hands in the soil or in the garden. So make sure whenever you can that you're not wearing gloves, so you get the straight contact with your hand or your feet or whichever skin, if you want to rub it all over your body. But but what it does is it connects you with the electrons. They are in the soil and in our whole body Oh, Carl, you are just so gorgeous. Really, you're still doing it.
I'm still rubbing myself here.
It's beautiful. I love it. Thank you. It's so real. That's why I love it. So what it does is, as soon as you connect with the soil, with earth, with something natural, with the leaf, with the plant, you kind of go onto its vibration. So immediately the electrons from there, which are much stronger as an electromagnetic field than yours are as this tiny being compared to the big earth, you get your body absorbs the electronic energy basically of the earth, which drops your inflammation reaction in your body, and by dropping this, your immune reaction can go up. So automatically, when you're in the garden, you don't have to eat the soil for it. You don't have to sniff the soil for it. You can if you want to. But make sure there is no fertilizer in it.
Yes, or dog juice or whatever. Just touch it. Just touch it. Don't eat it, please, anybody.
But to sum this up, make sure you're out in nature every day. If it's hugging a tree, if it's replanting something, if it's just, you know how you did it when you were kids. You were walking on a walk and you had your hands always on the right and the left. You were feeling whatever you felt there coming on your side. So do that maybe. Just, touch the grass when you walk along or something like that. But make sure you're out in nature and you have contact somehow. Yeah, exactly. Take off your mask and your shoes. Well, start with the shoes to make it more socially accepted. But yeah, exactly. Get in touch.
We're talking about the garden, not the supermarket. So, yeah, and we plenty of at work, so we don't need it in our soil too. Yeah, yes. That's another view of contemporary society there, Hank. I can't believe it. This is the longest show we've ever done. It's actually been a workshop this morning, hasn't it? It's been
now you have to pay, guys.
No one can go now. Jenni, thank you so much. We really should let people go now. And everyone's been amazing this morning. Fantastic. Yeah. And yeah, we'll see you again soon for your bi-monthly appearance. Take care, Jenni. Go on.
I'm going to send you quickly. I'm going to send you over my link for the workshop, and you can put it into the comments.
I think Jenni's done it for you already. That's fantastic.
Did she?
Okay. Yeah, flew by.
Oh, wow.
I don't want it.
Amazing.
That's always a good workshop, isn't it? By sending love and light, Fab show. Have a great weekend, guys. Glad it's long. Finally caught one of these. You see, if we stay on long enough, it means everyone gets to see it as well. So
we just do a 24-hour show next time.
Well, we did talk about in the Man Cave. We were dared to be in the Man Cave for 24 hours, and we'll do that as a charity fundraiser. The Man Cave boys are up for it, for doing a 24-hour show for a Portuguese charity, like a food bank or something like that. So we've got that. It's a possibility. And those other Man Cavers might have thought I've forgotten, but I haven't. Thanks, John, for popping in. Doreen, great show as always. Obrigada. Your forbearance and patience with us has been fabulous this morning. Really, really wonderful. A charity Man Cave would be fantastic. Do it. Okay. Yep. Let's get our people speaking to other people's people and do it. So it's like, Jenni, ciao, bon fin de semana, and we'll see you soon. Bye for that. I've never met Jenni in real life. It's so bizarre, isn't it? It's quite incredible. And it's the same with so many of us here. One day, folks. One day. Big hugs. I'm not a big hugger, but I'm going to make an exception for you all.
Yes, we are going to hug.
Ciao. Bye for now.